In this lecture, we will cover the features Loft Boss and Loft Cut. We will be using those to create the following model. You can get this drawing from the download section. Before we start modeling, let's explain what we mean by Loft Boss and Loft Cut. Starting with Loft Boss. Loft Boss is adding materials by connecting different cross-section. To apply Loft Boss, we can use as many sketches as we want. Those sketches are usually in different planes. With Loft Boss, we can go from the sketches on the left to the 3D model on the right. Note on the left, we are using 4 different sketches in 4 different planes to come up with the object on the right. We can further restrain and guide our Loft Boss using what's called guide curves. If we apply the shown guide curves on the left, we get the object on the right, which looks very different than the shape we got in the previous slide. Loft Cut is the opposite of Loft Boss. Here, we are removing materials by connecting different cross-sections. Similar to Loft Boss, we can use as many sketches as needed. With Loft Cut, we can go from the sketches on the left to produce the object on the right. Note on the left, we are using 2 sketches in 2 different planes. If needed, we can also use guide curves with our Loft Cut. So let's go back to our model for this lecture, and let's go ahead and do it. To create the model, we are going to follow the following plan. Starting with the first step, notice that we have 4 different planes which we used to do our loft. So let's start with generating those planes. We can take the right plane as our base plane. So from there, we can create 3 more planes with an offset which we were given in the drawing. To do that, we will use the reference geometry. So we'll go to reference geometry and choose plane. For the first reference, we can expand this design tree and click on the right plane. The distance to our first plane is 5 inches, so we'll have that to be 5 inches. And then from the drawing, you will see that the distance to the plane after that is also another 5 inch. So we can increase the number in the field here to 2. Now we have 2 planes. So click OK, and we have our first 2 planes. Let's go ahead and show the right plane to make things clearer. So if you click on the right plane and then click on the glasses, the right plane will be visible. Let's create our last plane. Again, back to reference geometry, click on plane. For the reference, let's go ahead and use the last plane we created. So click on it, and for distance, we can increase it to 7. So that's 7 inches. We can click OK, and we have just generated our 4 needed planes. So let's go ahead and start creating our 4 sketches. We will start with the right plane. So I'm going to click on the right plane and select sketch. Here I'm going to draw the circle. So I'm going to the circle command and draw a circle. The diameter here is about 7 inches from the drawing. Our sketch is fully defined. We exit the sketch, and now we can go to the next plane, the first plane. We can select it from the design tree, select sketch, and then start a new sketch. Here we can draw our second sketch, which is a square. So I'll go to center rectangle and draw a square. The side is 4 inches. So that's the side, and now I'm going to do a relation between the two sides to equal each other. And this fully defines our square. Now I'm going to move to the next plane, the second plane here, and start another sketch. Here I'm going to draw another circle with a diameter of 4 inches. Again, this fully defines our sketch. I'm going to exit, and now I'm going to draw my last sketch on plane 3. And here I'm going to draw a 5-sided polygon. So in the sketch command, I'm going to select polygon, click on it, have the sides as 5, and then draw the polygon. The side is 3 inches from the drawing. And then I'm going to make this bottom side to have a horizontal relation with the plane. This fully defines our last sketch. So now we have finished creating 4 different sketches. At this point, I can apply the Loft Boss feature. So if I go to Features and select the Lofted Boss feature, you will get 2 fields. One is for the profiles, which are the 4 sketches we created, and then the other one is for the guide curves. The guide curves are not essential for us to apply the loft. So let's go ahead and try applying the loft using the 4 sketches we created. If you select the profiles and then start selecting the 4 sketches, so this is sketch 1, sketch 2, sketch 3, and sketch 4. You will see a preview. If you click OK, you will end up with the following shape. For now, we are going to use guide curves, so let's go ahead and delete this feature and start creating our guide curves. One thing to know about the guide curves is they must intersect all the sketches. So I'm going to select the top plane, start a new sketch, and start drawing our guide curves. As we're looking from the top, you can notice that the planes are covering the shapes we have. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the planes. Okay, that's better. I'm going to start drawing a line. So I'm going to start from here, a straight line to here, and then there is a pump here, and then there is a straight line, and then curved. So this is the general shape of our outline. Notice that those points are not necessarily intersecting the sketches, so we have to make them intersect. So I'm going to click on this end point here and click on this circle, and then apply the relation pierce. I'm going to do the same thing here, pierce, and then here as well, pierce, and here. So now we have our guided curve intersecting all the planes. We are going to mirror this sketch to the other side since it's the same. So I'm going to draw a center line at the center, and then I will apply the mirror entities feature. I'm going to mirror those curves about the center line. Click OK, and we have a general outline. For now, we are not going to concern ourselves with defining the sketch because we're trying to show the function of the guide curves. So let's go ahead and go back to our lofted boss feature. So select the lofted boss, and for profiles we're going to select the 4 profiles. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for the guided curves we're going to select the sketches we just created. So I'm going to click on this line here, and then I will click OK. Now notice the preview has changed according to this guideline on the right. If we select the other guideline on the left, OK, notice that our preview has changed again to account for both guide curves. So click OK, and we have our final general shape. This is our first step toward creating this shape. Now we're going to the second step, in which we will be using the feature Lofted Cut. According to the drawing, we can use 2 sketches in 2 different planes to create our Lofted Cut. So first sketch is in this surface. So I'm going to click on this surface and start a new sketch. And here our first profile is a circle with a diameter 2.5 inches. So this is our circle. Our sketch is fully defined. We're going to exit the sketch, and then we're going to the other side, this side here, and start our second sketch. So I'm going to start a sketch, and our second sketch is another 5-sided polygon. So again, I'm going to click on polygon and create another 5-sided polygon. The side is 2 inches. So that's 2 inches. I am going to have this side to be horizontal with the plane, and this fully defines our sketch. So now we can exit the sketch and start applying our Lofted Cut feature. So back to features, and then select the Lofted Cut. We get the same options as the Lofted Boss. We have an option for profiles and another option for guide curves. For this, we are only going to use the 2 profiles. So I'm going to select the first profile, the circle, and then I'm going to select my second profile, which is the polygon. If you do that, you get the following preview. If you click OK, you will get the cut that goes through the model. If you want to see things clearer, you can do a cross section. So if we go to those planes here and say we can select the front plane, and then go to cross section, click on it, click OK, and this is a cross section of how the model looks with the cut.